Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Wisdom. No, it's Chakra Wisdom Tarot. I knew I was saying that backwards. I almost said it Tarot Wisdom Chakra. Sure, why not? By Tori Hartman. Supportive Oracle cards. The Spirit Animal Totem. The Spirit Animal Oracle. There we go. And it's by Colette Baron Reed. So there's the spelling and all that other good stuff. If you like these things or you like the artists and you want to find their stuff, there you go. All right, Cancer. I don't know what's up with this. I don't know if we're going to want these cards. I'm going to put them here, and then if we come back to them, we come back to them. No, actually, I do think I want them. I'm going to put them there. They're face down. Okay, we'll see what that's about. Usually it's like until the moment actually happens, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to fit until the moment actually happens. You know what I mean? Whew. Coming into the situation, like I'm just taking a quick look through everything. You're going into something, like, I don't know, you're going through something. I think this is going to be good, but this is going to be one of those situations I feel like you've got to stand up for yourself a little bit. And it's one of those situations where you're fairly happy with the situation as it is, but you might be a little bit off center with what's really going on. Something doesn't seem to fit quite right, but the majority of the situation, like it's either the group of friends or the group of family or the group of coworkers, whoever this, it seems like it's group oriented. You seem to be looking at this kind of like, it's not perfect. And there could be certain things could go better. This one could be a little bit nicer. That one could, handle their responsibilities a little bit better. That one doesn't have to treat that one that nasty. And you're looking at it in that way, but you're like, for the most part, everybody kind of gets along, kind of gels. Things could go better, but they're not the worst. And for the way you deal with it, you're like, I feel comfortable. I don't feel like I'm at odds with anybody. But you're seeing other people. Now, this is, I like this card. I think this is a very attractive card. They got the pig spirit here, which it says use your mind wisely, which I feel like that's fine. And if that applies for you here, great, go with that. When I see the when I see the pig spirit, I choke apparently. I get more of the seeing the beauty of a situation. Like, I think that's a cute pig. I think that's a cute pig. And I feel like sometimes the pig people use that like it's like this ugly situation, but it's not. Like, especially with the wings and things they got going on with this and the spirals and stars going on. To me, it's a very beautiful card. But it's also about, like, not trying to portray something more beautiful than it actually is, but seeing the true value of it. Like, pig, sometimes I see as a provider. Sometimes it depends on what's going on around the card, to be fair. Because it can provide a lot, like, pig and ham and all that good stuff. But it's also a very beautiful card to me. And I don't feel like it gets that fair turn sometimes. And it's kind of like looking at a situation but seeing the truth of it. And then like kind of like looking at what's really here and trying to see like what's right and what's not right and who's actually in the right here. Because there's some weird energy coming in here with this, with the Five of Wands. Like, I like that pig spirit, but it's coming in with this Five of Wands. All that's coming in, you're trying to see something more beautiful than it actually is too. It's funny because I'm like I see the pig spirit as a beautiful card, but I'm like when I'm seeing the Five of Wands hit, like maybe you're seeing something in a little bit more rose-colored light than you should be, because other people are being very stubborn, and I feel like people are being kind of rotten to each other with this Two of Wands. Or Two of Swords, excuse me. But it seems like it's like being cruel through lack of communication, being cruel through like segregating somebody out or not including somebody in a situation, like trying to ostracize somebody. That's what the Two of Swords feels like to me in this situation. which makes other people upset, kind of like, well, why isn't so-and-so here? Because I didn't invite them. That's why they're not here. It is kind of like, well, what's that about? Or somebody else saying, why isn't so-and-so here? Oh, I don't know. I put the invite out to everybody. Well, I saw the invites and I didn't see their name. Oh, must have got overlooked. What do you mean got overlooked? The Five of Wands is telling me there's an argument here with this, and people are kind of complaining. How heated the argument gets, that's subjective. But it's definitely a communication thing going on there. That's for sure. So, arguing for sure. And I feel like it's being mean to somebody. Somebody who's being mean to somebody else by discluding them. A little bit of water never hurt anybody, huh? See if I can have a little bit more of a voice. I don't know what's going on with the voice. It's making me a little nervous. I already had laryngitis once this year. I don't need it again. Now, when this situation happens, there's a weird energy that comes in next. It's kind of like trying to rectify it really quick, and it's almost like looking at it as if it's solving the situation, but it's not really solving the situation. I feel like you're going to reach out to the person you feel was ostracized or left out. You're going to make sure that they're okay. I'm getting that they're fine. It seems like they're not upset about it. They were aware of the situation coming forward. They didn't want to make it a thing. They just found something else to do. They're like, if that's how it is, that's fine. I didn't need to make a big deal about it. So they just kind of let it be. They're saying they're fine. You're fine with them. They're fine with them. I feel like it's trying to brush this moment under the rug a little bit. Because you got the Seven of Swords as well. Kind of like, let's just brush it under the rug. The Seven of Swords is usually the thief card, trying to get away with something, like somebody trying to get away with something that they're not supposed to. Excuse me. And I feel like it's trying to brush this under the rug. Like the person who was left out was kind of like, no, it's fine, I had other things to do. They might even be making excuses for the person that discluded them. Kind of like, oh, I had things to do anyway, it's fine. It's not a big deal. They don't want to argue about it. They don't want a big hubbub about it. They're like, no, it's not worth getting upset about. It's fine. It was one instance. It's fine. It's fine. But this other person, like somebody's like hiding secrets here. There's a problem. Like there's an underlying problem here that nobody's talking about. Whatever caused this moment to happen, there's an underlying problem that's not being dealt with. So this moment seems to be like it's kind of being brushed under the rug, but the Seven of Swords is saying kind of like you're moving on from something that shouldn't be moved on from. But this is more in the environment. So it's not so much you. You seem to be going forward to this person, making sure they're okay and that they're not upset. They're not upset. You're like, well, if you're not upset, why make a big hubbub? They're like, exactly. Let's not make a big hubbub about it. But there is an underlying problem here that's not being addressed, is what I'm getting. And this, like, underlying the problems, it's kind of like something nasty under the soil. If you plant something on top of that soil where there's some type of toxic something under it, once the roots touch it, it's going to cause damage again. You know what I mean? So it's not a good idea to just walk away from it. What do we got coming in here? 8 of Coins, 10 of Cups, 2 of Coins, and Judgment. Thing is, I did flip them all over in reverse. All of them. This is going on behind the scenes. This is a festering problem. Somebody's really unhappy and does not feel like they like somebody else a part of the group. 8 of Coins is telling me this has been going on for a while. There's a lot built up behind this. 10 of Cups reversed is telling me they're very unhappy that this person's a part of the situation. 2 of Coins reversed is like they're not doing anything about it. They're just smoldering on it. And the Judgment reversed is telling me they know that they can't get rid of this person. There's a lot of resentment going on here. Somebody's really bent out of shape, but if it's warranted or not is a whole nother story. This is a general read, so I don't know if, I feel like that would be more of a personal read, quite frankly, to find out what that deal is. But if this is hitting, somebody's holding resentment. Holding resentment, they just don't like any of this energy. It's all face down, which is telling me it's all hidden. It's all hidden, whatever this person's problem is. You've got Fox Spirit, and I feel like I like the Fox. The Fox can be very protective. The Fox is very cunning and can hide in the shadows. The Fox can literally be 5 feet from you without you seeing them. That's how I feel about the Fox. And they can slip around, they can get around things, they know how to look around things. Think on your feet, that makes sense. The Fox is usually a smart spirit. But it feels more covert. And I feel like as this keeps going forward, you're watching between the lines and you're trying to figure out if that situation is really going to be a problem again or not. But there's also this fox spirit is interwoven through this whole situation. So other people are trying to be more cunning and more secretive. So this person who's harboring this animosity is trying to hide that too. Which that makes things a little bit more complicated, because if they don't want you to know... So it's between this last issue and this new issue coming in is what I'm getting. Because I'm getting there's harboring of problems, there's secretiveness, people trying to hide they have a problem, that they're harboring this negative energy. What it's stemming for is not popping up in this reading. It's probably, it's very subjective to what's going on. When I'm feeling it, it seems unfounded, but it's a general read. But it feels unfounded very much to me. Like, whatever this animosity is, it feels very unfounded. What comes in next? The Chariot comes in on your side. Rushing in of situations, travel coming in. Like, these two coming in, like, I feel like it doesn't have to be travel, but it has to be something like it's popping. There's an opportunity coming in quick. This is where you're included with both of these people and probably others. All this coming in at once. A situation pops up out of nowhere that needs to be taken care of. Or is it good, bad, or indifferent? Because you got the Wheel coming in here too. It's kind of like it's unexpected, but it could be a good situation, to be fair. I don't really feel a negative energy here. So an opportunity might come in really quickly that you get to enjoy with these people. Almost like an impromptu get-together, or just some type of opportunity that you're going to come together with these same people with. Out of the blue, comes in really strong. Things have to be taken care of quickly. I'm not feeling really travel with the Three of Wands, but it could happen. This is a travel card. I'm getting like movement forward. Like, movement forward happens right away. The Chariot says it's going to happen quickly. The Three of Wands is saying it is actually happening. It's like reinforcing the same energies, how it feels here. The Wheel of Fortune, I feel like this is good. Because I'm feeling that Pentacle. Like, this is a good investment. This is something that probably have done similar things with these people before. It's just like it came around again, like, oh, we have an opportunity, let's do it, let's do this is cool. Especially when I'm feeling that coin with is that the Knight? Yep, the Knight of Coins coming in the environment. Somebody else is bringing this opportunity towards you. It's not either of these people, but I'm noticing I'm not getting any shock cards, so it's not like a shocking situation, but it comes in quickly. It seems something you've probably done before. Pulls in you with these people. This is all swirling around again. And seems to be fairly okay at first, but that hidden animosity I know is going to play in. Oh, we got another card behind that. These cards are on your side. You got Dog and you got, is that Groundhog? Yep. And that Groundhog, I love that he's holding that little heart, because I feel like that's a very devoted, like, I care about this. I'm very dedicated to this. The Dog spirit is a very dedicated spirit too. I'm feeling a lot of dedication. I feel like they're reinforcing that. They're mentioning here it's time to let go with the Groundhog, I'm noticing. And it's almost like, what should you actually be loyal to? I almost feel like that's what they're saying. Like, maybe it's time to look at the situation a little closer and decide what you're really loyal to. Look at somebody's actions versus their history. And what I mean by that, like, if somebody's been in your life for 5-10 years, but they're constantly causing problems, maybe it's time to change your loyalty to that person. If you've only known somebody maybe a year and a half, but they look out for you and they're a good person, they look out for other people, they're a very caring person, they don't screw people over, and you've known them noticeably less time, but maybe you need to shift your loyalty over to the person who deserves it rather than the person who just seems to have tenure, as you would. Like, just because they've been around 5 to 10 years doesn't mean they should get away with treating people like crap. So I feel like that's the first thing they're saying. Maybe you need to reevaluate who you're actually going to be loyal to. I feel like that's not easy if that's really going to hit. Because I'm getting the change here. There's a big change. The World card's coming in with the Magician. Somebody's forcing the issue. This hidden animosity is becoming a bigger problem. And I feel like somebody's being attacked who doesn't deserve it. And that's why they're giving you those two cards, the Groundhog and the Dog, saying, like, who should you really be loyal to here? The person attacking or the person being attacked? Because it seems like the person being attacked doesn't deserve it. but the person who's doing the aggressive might have been around a lot longer and just expects you to just back them because that's what they want. But this isn't right, and I feel like you'll know this isn't right. The World card is telling me a change is going to come in here. Somebody's trying to force this change. You're going to get stuck. The Eight of Swords is a trap card, but the question is, what is it trapping you into? I think it's trapping you into making a decision. Usually it would be, the trap card would be like, it just seems like a trap, but you can get out of it. The thing is, to get out of this trap, you have to make a choice. Are you going to be loyal to the one who deserves it, or loyal to the one you've been loyal to the longest? Because I feel like that's the difference. It's hard to look at this, but I feel like one person doesn't deserve it, the other person does, and maybe it's time to change loyalties. The dolphin here, I'm getting truth with this, but it says this and that are true. This and that are true, which, I don't know. I feel like the truth, it's like seek out the truth. Go with the truth. Who really deserves it here? Dolphin usually talks to me about love, too. So it's like, who really cares? Who's really a good, genuinely, who has a very genuine, caring heart? One of my pet peeves in life, which I don't know if you can really call it a pet peeve, is when there's trashy people who treat people like crap. And they get every allowance in the book. But you got somebody who's nice or good, who doesn't really cause a lot of stir, but when they need the support, they don't get it. And I feel like that's one of my personal pet peeves, when you have somebody out there who's just, they don't really like to cause waves. They just try to do what they need to do. They leave people alone, but they're a very good person, and people just kind of walk by them. But then you got this monster who just kind of attacks people and just screws up things left and right, but people rally behind them left and right. I don't know. I think it's just a peeve with me because it drives me crazy when I'm just like, that person who screws things up and causes a lot of pain for people, everybody keeps rallying around. This person over here who could actually use the help, but is just tries to take care of their stuff on their own, doesn't like to be a bother to people, they get left out in the lurch. Because I feel like that's the difference here. The one person is a much better quality person. The other person, one person is very nice, just it feels like their energy is a little bit more muted. That's what I'm connecting to. General read, I know. And the other person who's creating all this hubbub and this circus is really the one who causes problems, and it seems like due to all the circus and hubbub that they create, they seem to get away with it and perpetuate it. So they're saying, I feel like this is saying, evaluate who's around you. Evaluate who you're dealing with. Who deserves your loyalty? Who deserves your loyalty? Not who's been getting it, but who deserves it. Because you know what, you might find some really positive changes in your own life. If you're connecting with this, if this reading is really connecting with you, and you're allowing somebody loyalty that doesn't really deserve it, if you change this and just give this loyalty to somebody who does, you might notice some very positive changes in your life due to that one change. Just saying. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.